Oh, what a beautiful day it is. The sun's shining, and the Bombers play tonight. The Bombers are back tonight. This is the Bomber Buzz on Classic Hits 101.7 and streaming live at KTLO.com and the Bomber Sports Network. Glad you're here with us today. We have a great show. Ky Bickford from UCA running cross country and track. He's going to be calling in here in just a little bit. I may sound just a little strange today, or maybe just a little off, but it's pretty close to fine now. I had a dental procedure by our good friend Dr. Brad Coleman at North Arkansas Dental Group. This is not this is not an advert, by the way. This is just me giving a small shout out. He's awesome. He's as good as he is as a football announcer. He's an even better dentist, which says a lot. But he got me taken care of, and the mouth of the voice of the Bombers is in good shape again. So shout out to Brad. You'll hear him and the rest of the crew tonight. Tobias is on vacation, so that's we might get a call in from him tonight, but it should be a good show today, and it should be a good game tonight against the Rolla Bulldogs. That's an out-of-state opponent. That's our second opponent against the state of Missouri this year. We defeated West Plains a couple weeks ago pretty handily, and then we took care of the Goblins in Harrison, and we're off to a really good start to the football season. A couple of other things going on. The golf teams, we have our conference meet of the 5A West. That's going to be at Big Creek on the 23rd and 24th. The practice meet is going to take place on the first day. It's just a practice round, so they're going to get, they're going to be able to see the course if they haven't seen it before, but just get some practice in on the course. And then the big match is the 24th. Our boys and girls will be participating in that. Good luck to them. Then right around the corner is state, and not far from now, I mean, our fall sports, that's going to be the first one to come to an end. And then I believe cross country will be not far behind, in tennis. Their state tournaments around the corner, so we could see how all of our boys and girls over in tennis are going to do in that. So there's just a lot going on. Another big event that we have coming up Monday night, it is Pink Out Night in the Hangar, as the Lady Bomber volleyball team, who is just excellent at home. They had number 9 in the state, the Brooklyn Bearcats, on the ropes, and then they finally realized they were the number 9 team in the state, and they ended up beating us. But it was one of the better volleyball matches I've seen played in the Hangar. It was 2 high-level teams, and it really could have gone either way, and that was a good non-conference test for our girls. I mean, it's prepared them for conference, because they know that team that they played, they would compete at the top, if not win the 5A East if they were on this side. I mean, I shouldn't say they would run away with it, but I mean, us and Valley View and the Patriots of Marion, who we'll see on Monday night, all are high-level teams. Even Greene County Tech has a lot of talent, along with Batesville. It's a really solid volleyball conference since we've moved east instead of being over in the west. So that's a fun dynamic. Come on out, wear your pink. We're going to get started that afternoon. It is, again, Pink Out Night. Spike for a Cure. It's always a great night. The Lady Bombers are going to wear their pink uniforms. If you haven't come to a volleyball match, you need to come to one. This is the one to come to. This is a high-level match, 2 teams that are fighting for a conference championship. I mean, Marion, they're undefeated right now. Lady Bombers are a game and a half essentially behind them. So it would be nice to have a big home crowd there to cheer on the Lady Bombers in what should be a very big match. Another big thing tonight at the Bomber football game, it is youth football night. We're going to honor all of our Bomber Youth Football League players from 3rd through 6th grade. They have 2 teams in each grade, the blue and the gold team. Those will be honored during the game. And then the next day in the morning, the gold teams will be home against Thayer. So come on out. We'll have that on the Bomber Sports Network for you if you can't make it out. But it should be a good morning of football. Call it an appetizer for what's a big Saturday of football, not only with the college football slate, but with that. And, you'll get your football fix. You get your high school football Friday night, your youth football Saturday morning, your college on Saturday, and then the NFL basically the next 2 days. So come on out. If you're a football person, come on out, support the Bombers of tomorrow today. Well, I see the phone line lighting up. We're going to take a short little break. Ky Bickford's going to join us on the other side of the break, talk some cross-country and track from UCA. We're going to take a break. This is the Bomber Buzz on Classic Hits 101.7.
Somewhere, there's a river rushing through the woods while someone rushes through their day. There's a mountain looking up at the sky while someone looks down at their phone. A trail waiting to be walked while someone waits for a latte. This world is full of somewheres waiting for someone just like you. So go see yours at 154 national forests and 20 grasslands. And to learn more, visit nationalforest.org. The National Forest Foundation. See your somewhere.
Back here on Classic Hits 101.7, we're getting you ready for kickoff against the Rolla Bulldogs. Again, we haven't played them in the history of our school, at least in our documented history. I'm joined over the phone from Conway, Arkansas, former Bomber himself and current UCA Bear, Ky Bickford. Ky, what's going on, man?
Oh, nothing much, man. I'm just hanging out.
Yeah, you're riding the meat of cheese in a cross-country season.
Oh, yeah, I am.
How's that going?
We are getting started. It's going well. I am coming back from an injury, and I'm racing in 2 weeks at next Saturday.
Where's that at?
Chili Pepper at Fayetteville.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yep. So you had a little bit of a setback last year. How was that? How was that rehab and that process?
Oh, it was really long. I took 13 weeks off running just in a boot, and got cleared to finally run. And it's been a process. It's been a lot. It's been mentally straining, but tried to stay as positive as I could, and now it's paying off. I'm able to run, and it's been well. It's been good.
That's good. That's always difficult, regardless of anything small. Even if it's something small, I mean, something like that could linger. But glad you're doing good.
Oh, yeah.
Thank
you.
I kind of want to go back when you were in high school. So I know you settled on UCA. You love that place over there.
Oh, yeah.
What was that recruiting process like? Because I know you had a bunch of schools you were talking to and a bunch that sent you stuff. And when did you start to get a lot of what you were getting, and when did you finally settle on UCA?
Yeah. So I started getting recruited my summer of before my senior year. Ouachita Baptist was the first university to reach out to me. They talked to me first, and then I just slowly started getting more and more schools, just like A-State. I had some Texas schools like Arlington. I had Lamar. I had there's another one I can't really remember at the moment. It was SFA was that one. And then I had some other smaller schools reach out to me, and was really set on Arkansas State at first. That's kind of where my heart was at first, and I heard that UCA got a new coach, and he reached out to me, and I was like, why not? Give it a chance. Central Arkansas, it's not that far. It's about 2.5 hours away. And I fell in love with it as soon as I got here. Loved the coach, loved the team, everything about it. And I as soon as I got it, it took me a week to figure out that's where I wanted to go, and I committed, and the stress just was right off my shoulders. I was able to do everything else stress-free. I'm so glad I picked it. It's been great so far.
It's been fun to keep up. I mean, we've sent a lot of track and field athletes and cross-country runners, it seems like, all over the Midwest. I mean, I would say that our cross-country program here at Mountain Home it's one of the best, if not the best, in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I completely agree with you. They have changed that program into a dominant. I mean, we're the best in 5A, have been the best in 5A for years now. And, I mean, we could compete with any school, I feel like. I mean, Coach Norris, Coach Peveril, who just retired, had that program looking really, really good. And they're still looking great, looking to grab another state championship this year. It's looking really good.
Yeah, they just started their season last week. They had the Bomber Open on Thursday, and I every time I get results or I just wait on that phone call, I'm like, all right, what state record did we break, or how close are we to that? Because I remember I think it was one race last year where it was a bunch of loaded competition. They finished like first, second, third, sixth, seventh. I think they got all but the top 10 and the guys that they had running. Now you could only take the top 5 scores and whatever it was.
Right.
But, I mean, it wasn't like we were running against just small schools or people that hadn't ran before. It was like schools out of Springfield, North Central Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas. So it's good to see that program, along with you also run track at UCA, and that's it's very similar, I would imagine. You know, cross country running along with track and field, they kind of go. it seems like if you run cross country, you also do track.
Yeah.
So it's not like if you're playing, football and basketball in college. Right. But how much do those sports differ, at least at the college level, just from a preparation standpoint and just what you have to do?
No, for sure. They are different, 100%. I mean, you got your cross country where you have to do high mileage and you race longer, you race farther, you have to run longer, you have to do more like on your feet stuff. You gotta be able to go out and run a long tempo run, which is just a faster, longer run. You gotta be able to do that. But for track, you have to be able to have some speed under you, because the longest race in track, I mean, it's still a 10K, but I mean, for me, for example, I'm a mile 800 guy. I don't have to worry about that. I have to work on my speed. It's a lot different. It's instead of like going out and running 10 miles one day, I'll have to do like 5 and some speed work. It's different. The prep is a lot different, but definitely enjoy both sides of it. I would not want to do just one, for sure.
So the thing that I've always wondered, and it's different with everybody.
Yep.
When how did you first discover, like, hey, I could do pretty well in cross country, and when did you decide, at what age, that I want to do cross country, I want to do basketball? When did you decide you want to do all this?
Yeah. So I started running in 6th grade, and I ran a race no, it wasn't West Plains. It was actually in Willow Springs, and I ended up winning the race as a 6th grader, and it was a 7th and 8th grade race. And my coach at the time basically told me that, like, you better stay in this. Like, I know you do a bunch of other things, but I need you to stay and run. But I decided that I wanted to run and do basketball in 9th grade. I was also playing baseball at the time, and it was too much. Baseball was a little too slow for me. I love the sport still. It was just a little too slow for me. And but yeah, I picked running around an oval instead of playing baseball. But I picked basketball and track, because it's the same season. And I picked those, but I decided that I wanted to run at the next level my junior year of high school. I was still caught up. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was like, maybe I should go play basketball at like a junior college and just have fun with that. And then I was like, well, maybe I should go run. And then I had a really good running year in cross, and I was like, I think this is what I want to do. I think I want to run and just have basketball as my like fun other sport to take my mind off running. But that's kind of where I made the decision.
So you mentioned playing basketball. Do you think, just as an athlete yourself, now this isn't speaking for everyone, do you think it's good to have that second or that third sport to kind of take your mind off of what your, quote, main sport is, your main one being track and cross country? Do you think it's good to have something like that?
100%. I mean, I think me being able to just like go do something else other than run really helped me, not even from a mental standpoint, but also a physical standpoint. I was able to get my I mean, yes, I was still moving, but I was able to work other muscles. I was able to go sprint and not work my long twitch muscles. And then once I got back out of the track, I got to use my long twitch muscles again. I think doing both really benefited me in high school, mentally and physically. It was definitely a blessing in disguise, I feel like.
It definitely sounds like it. So you ran for Coach Norris in cross country. Who there's a bunch of coaches in track, but was Coach Shagnon was the head coach when you were running, and then of course you played for Josh Fulcher. Tell me about all three of their coaching styles and how they helped you and how they were different or even similar at the same part.
Yeah. So I was coached by Shagnon and Coach Goodwin before he became the principal at the high school. Both of them were amazing. I didn't have to really get coached under them because they were more of jumping, but they were our head coach. I was still coached under Norris, but they were amazing people. I mean, I loved being around them. They were amazing. They were amazing with the team. They always brought the team together. No matter what. I mean, it could have been a rainy, crappy day, and they were always positive about going out and working. Coach Fulcher, I mean, I love that dude. He's awesome. Him and Coach Morris both. I couldn't have asked for better basketball coaches through high school. They were so positive for me wanting to run, and even though they probably hated it sometimes, but they definitely were very positive, very encouraging. They wanted me to do both. And then in basketball, if I wanted a day off or if I wanted to just sit back and watch, they were okay with it. They knew that running was my priority at the time, and I will never thank them enough for that. That was amazing. And I got Coach Norris my sophomore year of high school. I had Coach Blades my freshman year. Coach Blades moved on to Lake Hamilton, but Coach Norris, I mean, he moved in and immediately made an impact on me. If I didn't have Coach Norris, I don't think I would have became a runner. He really, really was an inspiration to me. His work ethic alone and just wanting to get to know us and not just coach us was the big thing with him. He wanted to go run with us. He wanted to make sure we were doing okay. He was just, and then he was an inspiration for me. He was young. He could relate with us. He could still run with us, and it was just great. He is such a great dude. If everybody could run for him, I would recommend it. He's amazing. He makes the sport fun. And I know that's silly, cross country running. I mean, that's not fun, but he makes it fun. He's a great dude. I have nothing but good things to say about all 4 or 5 of my coaches I've ever had. But yeah, Coach Norris is definitely my inspiration to wanting to run at the next level.
Yeah, I know you mentioned it, said, oh, it's really fun to run with Coach Norris. I don't think I would find it as fun. That's just me. That's for different taste. But as much as I've talked to him about cross country and just running, and plus I went to school with him, and I knew he's exactly the same dude. And I knew even then he was like state championship caliber runner, college runner. He was a mule rider. But how much did playing for a coach like that or running for a coach like that has been at that level and knows what to do and what it takes to be great, how much did that help?
Helped a lot, because as soon as I told him, like, this is what I wanted to do, he was like, all right. And he got me to the next level. I didn't run during the winter because I was playing basketball. As soon as I got back into his hands, he knew exactly what I needed to do to get back into shape. And I played catch up, and he was completely okay with that. He liked that I was still engaged and I played catch up, but him having that knowledge of being a past college runner, he knew what it took. He was very, what's the word? He was very gifted in that aspect. He just knew what to do, and he got me into shape really quick and helped me get to where I wanted to be. I mean, as a runner and as a person. I mean, he just having that knowledge was a blessing.
Again, I just can't keep harping over how great he is. I mean, he's been awesome for our cross-country program. He's a great dude to talk to, and he's, again, like you said, he's got our program to one of the premier programs in the Midwest.
For sure. 100%.
So I wanted to ask you about, again, this is going back to the days you were in high school. I know that's so long ago. How differently would you prepare, like, say it's a day or two before a cross-country meet, how differently would you prepare for that than, say, a basketball game or a track and field event? Like, was the preparation level different because it's, again, like you said, it's different parts of your body, you're doing different things, or was it all kind of similar?
It was, for me at least, it was pretty similar. Cross-country is a little different because you are running longer, and you got to prep a little different. I mean, you got to eat a little bit more, you got to eat a little different. But going back to track, you are running multiple events. You're basically running cross country just around a track. Like, if I go and I do a mile, 2 mile, and an 800, that's basically, I mean, that's more than a 5K. So you got to prep very similar. Basketball, same thing. You're running up and down the whole time. If you're playing or not, I mean, you got to run. You're moving. You're doing a lot of different things. You got to prep the same way. Prep mentally and physically. I mean, not just eating. You got to prep mentally. I mean, big thing for me was imagining what I was going to do for those next few days before I raced or before I went and played. I like to sit and imagine of, like, what every scenario could happen and what the best scenario would be. Like game planning. I game planned a lot. I was a big game planner before I went and ran and went and played basketball. I like to be very, very professional with that type of thing.
Yeah, 100%. Because I mean, it's different. I've talked to a bunch of guys. They go from like let's say football or basketball to baseball. That preparation's different. It's like Brantley Phillips.
100%.
I was talking to him. He's saying he preps for a football game differently than he does if he knows he's going to pitch the next day.
Yeah, right. 100%. You have to.
So you have a fellow Bomber over there at UCA now.
Oh, yeah.
William Hill's up there.
Yep.
First of all, how's he doing? And is it nice to have someone that from before UCA up there that you've trained with and you've practiced with up there?
Oh yeah, he's doing great. He's enjoying it a lot right now. But it's been nice to have a familiar face for sure. I mean, I came up here alone as like the only freshman class for the men's side of the team. No familiar faces, nobody I knew other than a couple people that came with me from school. But having him up here has been really nice. Just a familiar face, someone that I've known since a little kid, has been great. And being able to put on a jersey together again and be Bears together is awesome. It's a dream come true for sure to have an ex-teammate come run with you and have the same jersey on as you. It's awesome.
You ever keep up with any other guys that are running, or even like a Marcy that's at UCA, or any of our runners?
Yeah, I see Marcy a lot at some of our meets. She's running at Little Rock now, so we race against Little Rock a lot. I'll see her, and I'll talk to her for a little bit. And I've talked to Jacob Payette over at A-State. I've talked to Whit Lawrence. I was in his wedding not too long ago.
That's right.
Him and Emily, and I talked to them. But that's about it. I don't talk to very many others around here.
So is Josie Weaver still the coach there?
Oh yeah.
How's playing for him?
Oh, it's great. I mean, he's the best coach I could ask for. He's a lot like Norris, and that's why I liked him a lot. He coaches similar. He is a similar person to him. Just an overall great dude. I couldn't ask to come into someone as family oriented and as personable as him. I couldn't ask for anything better.
The other thing I was just curious about, when you go from the high school to the college level in anything, and like I've talked to Robert Dover about this at SEMO. He's getting redshirted. Dewey's at Oakwood, and you go over there and you almost feel like average when you're used to being like the dude. Right. How's that transition, and does a lot of that process change of how you train and anything when you go from high school to college? Oh yeah, that process was so different. I mean, you go from high school and being like, no, I'm not saying like the guy, but you go from being one of the guys that everybody knows and everybody hears about, and you come up to a big school and it's basically like starting over. It's like starting in sixth grade again. You're running out. I'm running and playing catch up. The training is different. You have to put more of a stress on your body, more of a load on your body. I mean, I went from running in top of races to getting 80th to 100th, if not lower in races. And that's not mentally, but also physically draining. I mean, it's a lot of different. I mean, I've never ran behind so many people, but I love it. It's a new challenge for me. I can go and try to become better, because hopefully one of these days I'm not in the back anymore and I'm able to run a little bit in the front. But maybe one of these days I'll get there. But it's definitely it's different. You have to prep differently. You have to run a little bit more. You have to. I mean, like everything, you have to practice a little bit more in basketball. Oh,
yeah. You gotta prep a little bit different in football. Everybody's bigger. I mean, that's just how it is. But it's been fun. I love the challenge.
So you go. You have a couple meets coming up. I just had your schedule pushed up. How long is a cross-country season in college? Is it roughly the same length as in high school? Or I want to say it goes a little longer, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. It does. It goes a little bit longer, and we don't have as many meets. We'll race a couple meets, and then we'll have breaks in between. We'll have training blocks. So we'll race here in this next 2 weeks, and we'll have a 3-week training block, and then we'll race again. And usually we go race on courses that we're going to see in postseason. So we'll go to race at Texas A&M, which is a meet that we will go race on later in the postseason.
That's where your regionals at, isn't it?
Yep, that's where regionals is at. Yep. And then we'll race and the course we're about to go to that our team's going up to in Missouri. That's the national course for 2 years from now. So we like to go race at courses like that. But yeah, you get longer training periods, shorter. You don't get shorter meets; you get less meets. But yeah.
Yeah, I got you because it just came up. You're going to run in Missouri in about 2 weeks or so. You got A&M, like you said, then the ASUN Championship. So it's a long season, like lengthwise, but not competition-wise.
Nope, it's a lot of training but like for track, it's a lot of racing, not as much training. You race a lot more in track because we'll start in December and race. It's a long season, and we don't need to be racing that as much in cross country. But yeah.
Well, Ky, man, I appreciate this conversation, dude.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to, we have a lot of coaches on here. We had Coach Daves, Coach King, Coach Airy, but, we're trying to bring alumni back, talk a little bit about how their journey's going, current athletes. I mean, it's fun to hear that perspective, because they'll see you run up here, Mountain Home, and then playing basketball, but I don't want to say like they won't keep up with you, but they'll just kind of forget. I mean, until you get, you were ASUN runner of the week, but it's fun to see that just transition because it's still the same dude, just you're not in blue and gold, you're in a shade of purple.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's definitely different. Hopefully they can learn something from me for today.
We got to catch you at a basketball game or something this fall or winter?
Oh, for sure. I'll be back down. I have a lot of weekends where I can come, so for sure.
Awesome. We'll catch you there. We have kickoff coming up at 7 o'clock. The Bombers are taking on Rolla. You don't know anything about this game, but do you have a score prediction for us?
Oh, I got Bombers, of course.
Okay. Now I will tell you, Coach Airy has said that they are probably the fastest team that we've played so far.
Okay.
So, I mean, they got, as you know, speed is hard to cover.
Speed is hard to cover, for sure. I got us winning by 2 touchdowns.
Oh, I like it.
2 touchdowns.
That's a safe bet. We were off last week, so we're knocking the rust off. But that's a good bet. That's about what I thought.
Yep, 2 touchdowns. I like it. Yeah.
Ky, I appreciate the time.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, man. That was Ky Bickford joining us on the phone from UCA. Tell us about his track and field travels. We're going to take a short little break, and then we're going to give you a little preview of tonight's game between the Mountain Home Bombers and the Rolla Bulldogs. This is the Bomber Buzz on Classic Hits 101.7.
Let's take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly, leaning to one side. Inhale back to center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Back here on Classic Hits 101.7, it's the Bomber Buzz. We're so close to kickoff against the Rolla Bulldogs. Again, you still got time to get over to Bomber Stadium. Should be a good one tonight. Brad Coleman and the crew are going to have the call for you. You can watch us on the Bomber Sports Network. And I talked to Coach Airy just a little bit. He said that, man, they got some speed. Rolla's got some speed. This is going to be the fastest team that we've played so far, and I believe it. He's been pretty spot on. He said that Harrison's offensive line was pretty good, and that's what kept them in the game over there. He said West Plains, it'll be a dogfight, but we just ended up playing better on that Friday night, and thankfully we came out with 2 victories. We've played a solid schedule so far. We had CAC in the not the non-conference, the benefit game. That was a good game. The varsity portion was good. We signed them up for a benefit game. Now, they had a lot more talent. They had a lot of the team leave to go all around the state with school choice and everything. So it wasn't the team that we had expected to see, but it's still a team that's going to compete at their classification. Then we saw West Plains. We hope to continue that battle of the border rivalry for many years to come. We get to keep that trophy. And then, of course, for the second year in a row, we defeated the Harrison Goblins over at Harrison. That is a tough place to win. Any sport, baseball, basketball, soccer, anything. It's difficult. They should have a very solid season, I think. I think they'll make the playoffs still. And I expect big things for our Bombers as well. They have their final test of non-conference against Rolla, a team that, again, we don't know just a whole lot about because we never played them, but we know a few teams that have played them. But it's hard to tell year in, year out how that's going to go. And then we have Fort Smith Southside the next week, and then we're in the thick of things in 6A West play. It's going to be a fun next couple of months to see how Bomber football goes. You can catch all of it on Classic Hits 101.7 and the Bomber Sports Network or mhbombersports.com. Keep up to date with all things Bomber athletics. If you haven't downloaded the app, you need to. You really need to. It's a great app. It looks great. I've heard a lot of good things about it, but it's about that time. We're going to send it over to the stadium. Brad Coleman and crew will have the call for you the rest of the night. This has been this week's edition of the Bomber Buzz. We want to thank our guest, Ky Bickford, and we want to thank you for listening. This has been the Bomber Buzz.
I was flying, jet running down a dream.